probably cameras on here that we don't even know about.
Yeah. Eventually, that will be one of my goals, is to have like hidden ones that
just a ring of cameras, like the Matrix,
like the ring,
the bullet time cameras.
I'll do bullet time.
It's just
that will cost hundreds of thousands.
Yes, you may need a Patreon for that.
Why is making a commitment to art difficult?
I think it's just because we're increasingly being bombarded with things that want our time and attention. I'm looking at you, smartphones. But I think if you always run into people who are like, oh yeah, I used to paint, I used to draw, that sort of thing, but I just don't have time for it anymore. Yeah. Things, life happens, right? So families and work commitments, and sometimes we have to go for a walk and get groceries. I think it's just one of those things where it's like you really have to just find the time for it, but finding the time means something is going to be taken out.
Right. So
it's like you'll never. So I think the one thing I kind of taught myself is that you'll never find the time. You have to make the time. Mm-hmm. And so which isn't bad. And there's also another adage I heard. It's like, if you say you don't have enough time for things, stop. You're watching too much TV. That was before a smartphone age, so I think you could say if you don't have time for things, you're probably on your phone or looking on the internet too much. But I think it's just like we're so bogged down with all these different things that need our time and attention and that sort of stuff. It just becomes hard to be like, Jesus, I want to paint, I want to draw, I want to play the guitar, but where do I find the time for it, right?
Yeah.
And it's just about just kind of trying to say, okay, well, I'm going to take out a chunk of time per day, per week to be like, this is it. And it means I'm going to have to give up something. You're going to have to say no to people. You're going to have to say no to...
I'm not watching that new season of Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Well, they actually... my wife and I were talking about this the other day. Just about, I'm aghast about, people see all this stuff, and I'm like, where do you find the time to watch
all these TV shows?
All these TV shows and all these I watched season 4 of Star Trek: The Next Generation last week. It's like that's 50 hours of television.
When did you do that?
Yeah, when did do people sleep? Am I missing something? Do people not sleep anymore? Yeah. But yeah, I think it's just it's hard just because we have all these other things that either we have to do or we want to do. And it's just trying to figure out, when you can find the time for those things.
You make a choice, right? I have this comic on my computer as my background, and it's not there, so we can't see it. But it talks about this idea of how people make choices. We all are all doing the thing we really want to do, even if we say we don't want to. So as an example, it's like the guy's like, oh man, my job sucks. I wish I made more money, or I wish I did this. And the guy's like, well, you are doing that, because if you really wanted to make more money, you'd go out and do it. You'd find a way to go and do it.
Yeah.
That's
exactly it.
Even though you say you're unhappy, you want to be unhappy because you're choosing.
Yeah.
I know some people will say well, there's mental health and things like that.
Sure.
But I mean in the most general sense, people can choose. They can make choices.
Yeah. I'm not from Edmonton. I moved to Edmonton.
Yeah.
And kind of one of the things I had to kind of learn to do was learn how to meet people and kind of get out and do some stuff.
Yeah.
And I found to do that. It was for me. It was about joining a sports team or volunteering or getting involved in different things,
exactly.
Right? And through that, you meet people, you find stuff to do, and you can become pretty busy pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So I was always confused when I meet people I'm so bored, I have nothing to do. And it's the whole phrase there's nothing to do just means you're not trying to look. Because there's a thousand different things to do going on.
Oh, yeah.
There's a million volunteer organizations in the city. If you send them an email or knock and be like, hey, can I do some stuff? They'd be like, yes, please.
Yeah.
Here, do some stuff.
We have a habit of saying that there's nothing to do because it's easy to blame winter.
Yes.
That's my theory.
Yes, absolutely. You need to be nicer to winter. But yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, there's it's cold, but put on a coat.
Go out.
Put on some boots.
Try something.
Okay, go and do stuff.
There's places.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's great. I like that. I could go on a tangent about that. That's why I'm gonna curve that.
If we can do that winter podcast another day.
We could talk a whole episode.
Because I'm with you. That's kind of.
We could do a whole episode.
The Long John Index has kind of become the winter defense blog. We're just kind of no, I don't have time for this. Winter sucks.